time of the day, beautiful people. Welcome to the Sap Talk, helpful storytelling with olyaaman. Today's story is about a beautiful person who never even thought about sport and ended up revolutionizing her life. How to start exercising when even the very idea seems alien to you. Let me show you how you can do that and love your life and your body. I met Anne when I was in hospital on some trifling issue with my collarbone. We got together somehow. The simplicity and cheerfulness of her nature was the best recommendation for me. Anne was always disposed to chatter, and I loved to listen to her stories. So when Anne invited me to snatch a meal at her parents' house on one of the weekends, I agreed with delight. It often goes to my heart to see people who are unhappy in their bodies. This meeting with Anne's mother was the more singular, inasmuch as I couldn't be unaware that Anne felt somewhat uneasy to introduce me to her mom. But Anne sensed a kind and open heart in me and wanted my smiling face to cheer her family. I did my best to not show my astonishment in seeing her mother, but I bet it was all written on my overexpressive face. I never before or since saw a woman so big. I was just a shy child, and on my asking if there was anything I can do to help her with setting up the table or getting the tea ready, she became suddenly annoyed and left the room without saying a word. I felt her embarrassment and pain as my own. I didn't think a moment, but acted on impulse. Rushing right after her, I hugged her big body and cried bitterly in her soft bosom. And that was a magic night. I do not remember laughing so much ever since. I left the hospital in a week, and we lost each other, being a few years apart and busy with our lives. In my final year at university, just before moving overseas, I rented an apartment with my friend. The kids next door were noisy little devils. On one occasion, they were fighting in the little corridor we shared and ruined our shoe shelf. Their mom came out of the door just at the time when I was vainly trying to rescue my boots out of the younger boy's hands when he was trying to kick his brother with one boot and to put the other one on his poor head as a helmet. I was so much taken up by the drama in front of me that I didn't right away realize that the lady next door was dragging me out of the fighting boy's way and into her apartment. I found myself in the kitchen, sitting at the table with Lucky Boot in one hand and a cup of fragrant tea in the other. I was well rewarded for my pains with love and hospitality bestowed on me by my old friend Anne. We hugged and kissed, we laughed and chatted till midnight. We were throwing tea parties almost every night since then. I used to look at Anne from time to time with an air of conscious admiration. Refreshed, delighted, invigorated, she carried the world before her by the force of love she bestowed on herself, her children, and her husband. She rarely came out of the apartment, mostly busying herself at the kitchen, making all kinds of delicacies for her boys. She had a big heart in her rather big body. Her husband adored her. Children obeyed her every now and then. And unlike her mother, she loved herself just the way she was. And needed to go out more. I knew that, and her husband secretly asked me to encourage her. He tried to convince her every possible way he could invent, but being a soft and loving person, he couldn't say no or but to his sweetheart. Good enough, he said yes and sure for everything I suggested. First, she couldn't see neither rhyme nor reason in it. She used to say in an annoyed voice, "Why would I need to go out? I have everything I need here handy, and besides my mom was pretty sound and jolly at her home too." Her mom died at 43. Too many health complications caused by that extra weight. So Anne needed to change her life to be there for her family. I asked her a few times to run some errands for me, excusing myself by the busyness of my working and studying schedule. Then I offered evening walks instead of evening tea rounds. Half-hour stroll gave way to an hour one, time getting faster, music accompanying conversations. Anne loved music. Her tuneness, yet sweet humming, was pleasing to the ear. I found out there was a dancing studio nearby. The time worked for both of us, and I urged her to try. She became friendly with the elderly woman instructor, and gradually that kind and sincere lady took my place in Anne's life. I felt good transferring my duties to her, knowing I was leaving my lovely Anne in good hands. I got into a habit of sending Anne a motivational postcard each month, with little writing coming from my very heart. She sent me photos of her improving self in gorgeous dresses she crafted for her dance performances. It was quite an expense for her family, but surely the one they all of them could proudly enjoy, watching that magnificent woman's every graceful move. This story was about true love and friendship, the very things that can help you achieve anything in your life. Thank you for visiting my channel today. Stay tuned for my next uplifting video story. See you soon. Bye.